Om Shanti, Arif, right? We can start the session.
Sorry, I was talking to myself. I was just saying we start. Om Shanti, everyone, and welcome. And now you can hear me. I thought let's spend a few more minutes since we have maybe some more people might join. And just let me know your name and where you're joining from, which part of India, or if it is from abroad. We can start with Guruji.
Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shanti. I'm joining from Mumbai, and yes.
And you had received the instruction from the last week, yeah?
Yes, we announced it in the past 3 days.
Okay, so you are the organizers. Amiji?
I'm from Mumbai.
Mumbai also, okay. And then next person, just let's go by the list. I think there is Chandra Kala.
Om Shanti, brother. Good morning. I am from Bangalore.
Joining from Bangalore. Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, Anshuji.
Good morning, brother and everyone. I'm joining from Miami, US. Om Shanti.
All the way from Miami. Welcome. Shivani Ben.
She's put on a chat box. She's from Mumbai.
Okay. Sorry, you might have to help me on that. Yeah. Inderji. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm joining from the US.
From the US again. Okay. Very good. And Sonia ji.
Om Shanti, brother. I'm from Delhi.
From Delhi. Joining from Delhi.
Yeah.
And Seema ji.
Om Shanti. Yeah, I'm also from Delhi.
Okay. All right. So you have Delhi, Mumbai, US, and Bangalore. Wonderful. I'm joining from Mount Abu, Rajasthan. At this point of time, I'm here. So I thought of changing. You've all probably been listening to the Murli, and some, depending on your situation. But I thought that listening to the Murli is a very good practice, but it is not enough. Listening to the Murli by itself is not enough if we are not able to extract something from it. Okay, Baba often says that, we can speak in such a way that we don't really understand, just like a parrot. And the same way we can listen, but we are not really doing anything about it. So I thought, let's make it something that we can use in our life. And I created a few questions, which I have sent it to you. And I hope that you have, you've worked a little bit on it. And even if you haven't worked on it, you've kind of at least looked at it and thought about it. So we can share today. So I will start. In the first part of the first Murli that was read, Baba was talking about becoming equal. Okay, and you often hear this. Baba says, Bab Saman, you have to become equal, and that's a nice thing. It's a great thing to be. But how do we become that? What is it that we can do in a practical way so that we can reach that stage? So Baba mentioned two things. One is Bab Saman, being equal to the father, but at the same time, he mentioned that is equivalent to complete purity. He said that this state is complete purity. So this could be the kind of aim, okay, or the kind of target that Baba has given us. So when he did that, I thought that, okay, I definitely want to be equal. And, it's one of the very elevated aim to have. Okay? But then that requires me to be completely pure. So Baba guided us, and I looked into also the notes, and he mentioned about our thoughts, okay, and what actual purity means. So he mentioned that we shouldn't have any waste thoughts, okay, but then that's a very high aim as well. How is it that I can practice this and put it in my my day-to-day life? So there are three kinds of things that creates from myself that creates impurity. I have three areas of interaction. The first one is my action. Is there anything that I'm doing? I ask myself, is there anything that I'm doing that will create some kind of impurity within me? So that was the first level. Okay, and Baba often mentioned this in Murlis. Okay, the second level is, what do I speak? Okay, which again, is something that I can recognize. Okay, what do I do? What do I speak? The third thing is what I'm thinking. What are my thoughts? And which kind of category can I put my thoughts generally? If I take this aim, it's quite difficult for me to be able to analyze it and to be able to capture it. So I thought that let me divide it into several checkpoints during the day, and let me take down some notes. So during at different times, I asked myself, what happened during this time very quickly? And if there was anything that came out from me in terms of what I did, in terms of what I spoke, was there any moment where I felt difficult in that particular communication? It's very subtle, but there are some even gross ones, which I think, mostly all of you have maybe, conquered, and, you've worked on it. You've never become angry, or even if you became angry, it's just maybe a little bit of hardness, not really full anger, and even if there is anger, sometimes it can happen. What I do is, like, at that point of time, whether it's traffic control or whether it's just a random, let's say every 2 hours, I'm going to check myself and keep some place where I can note down that, okay, after, during the last 2 hours or during the last 1 hour, these are the things that happen, and these are this one. Now, the tricky one is waste. When it can be a lot because we might not do something, we might not say something, but we might have had a lot of waste thoughts. And the sign of waste thoughts is something that is repeating. Okay, if I keep thinking about something for a long period of time, it's a repetitive kind of thing, and it's usually an kind of anxiety or worry or something like that. that keeps moving in my system. Now that is, Baba said that is also an impurity. Okay, that will not help me bring my stage that I want to be of being equal to the Father. So for that, I need help. So once I have recognized that, okay, this and this happened, what is it? What kind of virtues I can bring in order for me to be able to conquer that particular weakness or that particular waste, okay, or that particular impurity. So for instance, let's say, for example, one day something happens and there might not be an explosion of anger, but internally I might have felt very irritated. That also is a kind of anger, right? So when I feel like that, or when I think like that, I need to find out what is it that I can bring, into my life, into my meditation, into my practice. So the virtue of peace. Okay, whenever I'm peaceful, I can't get angry, because obviously, just by being peaceful, you are stable. Okay, you are not easily agitated. So I can practice in my meditation. I can practice just feeling. What I discovered recently is we do a lot of things in our meditation, but there is a very simple way. It's just to have this intention and suggestion to yourself that I'm going to sit for 10 minutes and I'm totally going to feel peace. Not think about peace, just I'm going to feel peace. And you don't have to have a particular setting. You can do it anywhere, any place, at any time. Okay, and this is what really is going to help you, because we often try to limit ourselves into, I will, do this practice only when I'm meditating. You can do it even while doing your work, and just feel that, and bring back these thoughts that I'm a peaceful soul, I am a loving soul, I am Master Almighty soul, depending on which quality or which virtue that you need at that point of time. You just bring it into your awareness and you see how it moves. So my experience doing exercise is doing this exercise of looking at the Murli was, this is the fourth question, was that I felt very enthusiastic rather than leaving, okay, I've read the Murli and okay, I remember the point. No, I created a plan and I practiced that plan and I felt very happy and I felt very enthusiastic and light during that period of time. Okay. And I'm sure, if you do this practice, you will also have an experience that will, make you feel that you are moving forward. You are improving in whatever target that you set. But if you don't set any particular thing that you want to do, then what happens is it just evaporates and you're back into the normal, whatever you have been doing normally before. Yeah. So I'll stop here, and I would like to hear your particular choice. Which from the 4 questions, I'll just quickly repeat them. So the first question was, what one direction that Baba gave that you would like to implement in your life? Second one was, how are you going to practice it? So not just, okay, I'm going to do this, but, put in something that will bind you, that will make you actually act on it. Okay. So how are you going to do it? The third question was, what virtues or point of self-respect you're going to be applying in that particular aim? And finally, I would like to know your experience when you were going through this exercise. So I'll pause here and allow you to share. I think at the beginning, let's just say random, whoever feels like they are they've done the exercise and they would like to share, please go ahead. Would like to start?
Arif, should I place it on chat box, the questions, so that...
Yeah, you can repost the question.
Yes.
Actually, maybe we have a show of hands of who has done the homework. Who has done the homework? Maybe you can also, in the meantime, well, okay. Only one. What about the others? What about the others? Anybody who did not get the homework? Raise your hand if you haven't received the homework. So everybody, Sonia, you have not received probably, or you have done. You have done. Okay, so now we go back. Who has done the homework? Raise your hands. Just to have an idea. Okay. All right. So from those who have done, let's start with one person. Just anybody who, again, this is very light sharing. We don't expect, a whole, just whatever. Yeah. So the questions are already posted. You can even get some idea based on what you did or what you think you can do. Okay, anybody who would like to start?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
So from the direction which Baba gave me in the Murli was, Baba talks about the purity in thoughts and not having the consciousness of I. And how I implemented was actually, maybe it was drama, but there's something which happened in my professional and personal space when an important information which was required was not divulged. So the earlier me would have definitely got extremely angry and gone overboard, reacting, and even maybe attack the other person or accused. So the direction which I got was, first, even if I don't feel that level of peace, first not showing it, because if I don't show, it automatically gets engineered that I have to remain peaceful. So at that very moment, it was not that I was completely stable. It took me a bit of time, but I went through again a Murli and just remembered Baba for some time, and the Shrimat which is given as to where Baba also talks about detachment in another Murli. So that point I remembered, and it really helped me, and instead of making the situation worse, it actually got better, and the situation was completely reversed. So what I really got from this entire experience and practicing is the what when Baba talks about detachment and purity and how to implement it. So how I plan to practice it is by completely remaining uh, within the daira of Shrimat, remembering the points of self-respect, which is empathy, which is the virtues which Baba has given, the peace, and having courage. So these are the virtues, a point of self-respect, which I'll need if to succeed. And after all of this, so today is Sunday, and the incident happened around 5 days back. I feel absolutely relaxed, light, because the clarity which I got in general as to how to go about situations and getting more and more closer to Baba as we follow Srimad, and that's been a wonderful experience. So I just thought of sharing it. Thank you, brother.
Oh, very nice. So this is what I mean, that this person has read the Murli or is reading the Murli. A person who can take the points and bring it into a situation in their life, whether through these questions or just generally, whether you do it generally, or this is just an idea to encourage you to be able to actually not just, come in the morning, spend your time, 45 minutes and listen to this. But if you don't consciously put effort and plan, then what happens? It will just whistle. But that is a wonderful example of how you manage to take a situation which generally would have been very, very challenging. You use what you have heard from Baba, you actually followed it, and you realize that by following the dictates, by the following Shrimad, this helps you to go through, and it will help you in the future. So most of the time, whenever there is a situation, initially it's difficult. It's like not immediately I will be able to. I might, have a few moments, or minutes of irritation. But then I realize, oh no, Baba said this. Okay, that's where you use that knowledge. So if I have a very powerful weapon with me, but I don't know how to use it, after some time it'll get rusty, and it will not even work when I need it really. Yeah. So that's the whole idea about encouraging you to not only just read, but and churn, because we are very good in reading, very good in churning, but we're not very good in practicing. So if we don't do that part, then it doesn't become our experience. So then you find that, I've been practicing for 5 years, 10 years, and I've really not got the result. Amiji, can you help me with the chats, please, if you don't mind?
Yes, sure. There's a message from the chat box. Shivani Sharma, she has written that first, avoiding waste and negative like the flu, try hard to use this. Also keep far away from negative and toxic people. Negative content, negative energies, save time, energy, and effort. She has also mentioned not to take any circumstance too seriously, deeply imbibe faith in drama, so that you can be your own shock absorber. So don't react too strong, not so pleasant situations or any situation in general. But also don't miss any chance to frolic or enjoy or have fun and be happy. And she has also mentioned that she gets annoyed. So she has tried hard to practice more and more of being emotionally stable and detached from the consequences.
Yeah. So what was the aim again? What was Shivani's, is it from the homework or you just generally? Shivani, can you just explain?
From the first question,
the
she
first
mentions
question. Okay, so the first question, what I said was just what Baba said and what you're going to do in the first session. This seems to be like the methods or the tips that you're sharing, no? Did you pick up any particular thing that you are targeting? Because what happens is if we have aim, then we can use all this, the lovely tools that you mentioned, practicing what I mentioned. Okay, so that is your practice point, but try and see if you can link it with one particular aim, and then you can work. They're beautiful, they're very beautiful points to practice. Yeah, thank you. Okay, anyone else? I think some people just joined. Just to recap what we've been talking about, there was some questions that we sent. If you actually worked on that question, or if you have used the Murli in any way, you can please share. just while you're getting ready, I'll just need to charge my, I just need a quick charge and I'll be back. 1 second.
Shanti, brother.
Oh, Om Shanti, just you can start sharing, but I need 1 minute just to put the charger on. Yeah, one minute. Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah, Om Shanti, brother. First, I would admit that I have not gone through this Murli thoroughly, but I have gone through the Murli's 31st of March 2010, Stay in the Self-Respect of Being. Definitely, I have experienced it, and I would come on to that when you are going to, explain and discuss this. But from this Murli, I have really worked upon that the first point you have said, that what direction Baba gave you. As you said, that we need to be Bap Saman, that we have to become Bap Saman, and for that purity is must. And for the sake of purity, that waste is to be, vanish day by day. We have to get rid of this. For, getting rid of this, I have this, bad sanskar within me, that I never used to listen people patiently. So I used to say my words and my opinion first. But when Baba said, then I never used to see their sanskars of the original one, because I was not aware of those original sanskars. But when Baba guides us for this purity, this virtue, I used to imbibe within me, that I have started saying in, sthul in physically, Hanji. Hanji. By saying that Hanji, I have, noticed that I have that patience of listening the other people empathetically, and have the time of seeing that, person with their original sanskars, not the present one. And because saying Hanji, that, brings me into my soul consciousness. And for this, I guess the time. And by saying this Hanji every time and listening him patiently, I really get this virtue, imbibe this virtue of satisfaction and, patience, and feeling Bab Dada's, blessings, that I am listening that person. You are really my child. You are becoming Bab Dada Saman. And experience I am getting that day by day. And I am being patient, empathetic listener, and good communication skills I am having, because I am not very anxious to say what I think, what I know. I listen very patiently. This I have started from my family, the near and dear one, where I am there for seva. This is my experience. And this Murli, when I was listening, really made me feel happy. Yes, Baba, I am able to do what you taught us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful, and example of what you can do. Very simple, doesn't have to be complicated, and very effective, because at the end of the day, we need, see, one thing I realize, it's a very small thing. The more I stay in my truth, which is peace, love, and happiness, the more closer I get to my destination, the more power I'm having to be able to do anything that I need. So it is just like a question of drilling in moments in my life that I can stay in that space without being, without going down into the other areas. Somebody had mentioned earlier, the negativities and things like that. So if I just am able to, in any way, understand that, look, there's no point in arguing with anybody, and trying to, convince them about anything. I can just accept them the way they are, and I will save a lot of time, but this is not the way that the world is actually dealing with. Baba's explanation is quite different from what the world usually has taught us. So it will take some time to realize that, a lot of things that we do are not really necessary, but in the world, we are told that we have to do those things. Yeah? So thank you for sharing.
One thing more I'll add to this, brother. The greatest experience I'm having these days is whatever they do, the family members, because they are into their own, experiences. But whenever they come to me, their their volume is low. They are very, speak in respect, with respect. And I can see they have started accepting me like the way I am accepting them. So this is a very, beautiful experience I am going through, that they have started accepting me the way I am, and their volume, their way of talking, the words they use. If they by chance use the word which are not, acceptable in the society, they change the word. This is the experience I am having these days. Beautiful experience of saying Hanji only, with only word Hanji, like Mama said Hanji. So I follow Mama, that she said Hanji in front of Bab Dada. I would also say Hanji all the time.
Just keep on that track and keep finding more things that you can use as well. And as you are reading the Murli, you will find something new. Just try and practice that, and I think that's really the way to go. Okay, anyone else? Any
Shanti
comment?
brother, very small experience. I'm not able to attend any session, any classes. I'm away. I stay in Delhi, but I am in US visiting many places. What purity level I felt. I was at Miami for 7 days. So I can't tell you, a very different culture from I'd been living. The first time was where I could feel those souls are strived for bliss. What are they are doing? They are trying to enjoying life, getting that bliss out of what not, smokings and drinks and dancing. And what we feel tamo pradhan level, Baba had been, but I worked on myself, on my subtle intellect, and I felt everyone, they were pure. I was there for enormous time. I mean, what I could eat, what could I feel, it was all up to me, my pure consciousness. And conclusion was, everybody's aspiring for Baba's ultimate peace. They are unable, they're trying their level wisdom. Everyone is pure enough. That was my ultimate churning for a week. That purity means everyone is pure. How Baba sees, that's how Baba sends us to the various places with our pure consciousness. We need to evolve. And if we are feeling pure, that purity spreads, and everywhere we spread it. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Yeah, that is very true. We will seek happiness no matter what. If we don't get it in, something that is useful, we will find something that is not really healthy, but we will still look for peace. There is no human being who can survive without peace, love, and joy. But the problem is that obviously Baba says, and in the Murli we hear, that this is temporary, okay? So we know that now, they don't know that, but it's not about judging anybody, just to understand that they are just looking for the same thing that we are looking for, but they are looking at from it where we used to look before. Now we have understood, we've got Gyan. Now we are trying to do something better, so we are being more efficient in some way. And that's true, the world is, sometimes I get shocked when I see the world. We are in this protected area, where everybody is, knowledgeable, they have knowledge, and, they are practicing. But when you see outside, things are not the same, and people don't want to even listen, sometimes. But that's where they are. They're just growing from where they are. Yeah. Okay, any last comments from anybody? Just, generally, if you would like to say anything. Just generally your experience of listening to Murli and how, you plan to use it. How are you using Murli in your daily life? Anyone? No one?
Om Shanti, brother. In one line, I'll say Murli is my support system. Wherever I am, Baba's Murli is my ultimate support system. It gives me everything which I need. Thank you.
Thanks.
Om Shanti. I see to it that I always have that determined thought that any situation come, but I'll try to see to that I'll read the Murli. Means I'll read it the Murli and implement some of the few points which is necessary for me. Like in some areas where I have that fear that I'm not able to cope up, that at least I always remember Baba, this is for me, it's not possible. So give me that courage to overcome this fear. And I really feel that works it. And even whenever I'm working or in my kitchen or wherever, so I always keep reminding Baba in my mind and always think of him, more of it, so that that waste thought don't appears in front of me, and that makes my life easier.
Wonderful. Any effort that one makes will always give the return. Even if that effort is not perfect, it will still give you the return because you made the effort.
Yes.
So yeah, that's very nice. I think Harpreet ji unmuted. Maybe she wants to.
Yeah. Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti, welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, the Murli is a very integrated part of my life now. And even because I travel a lot and sometimes I get a little late here and there, but by and large, I'm mostly quite regular. And what I've realized is that the more you keep listening, there are always in every Murli some or the other points which will come, which will make you very reflective. And you immediately want to imbibe that because you are on the journey. So, and if you don't listen to the Murli, then, there's a gap and you tend to forget. So it's just like, I just take it as a learning, which I have committed to. And the Murli is an integral part of that. And only thing is, for me, my personal takeaway, I'm not so much into the, what will happen in Satyug and what will happen then and there, the future. I'm more in what I can do now and how can I help now, my own self, and how can I help the world today. So I like to listen to the futuristic things, but not with as much focus. I'm more into the now a lot. So, but for me, the Murli, I know it sometimes is into the future, sometimes it's in the present. So I take both, of course. And I believe that if you can do the now, the future is automatic. So I'm much more, I try to keep doing the now a lot. Om Shanti.
Yes. If there is anything that we can do, we can only do it now because that's what we have in our hands. So it's a good idea to be focused and to stay focused, to focus on whatever you can do now. What I usually say is that the golden age is there. We have faith that it is there. We don't really know the whole thing about the golden age, and even Baba tells us that you will see it as you progress, or you will see it. It's not a question for you to ask now. But what I think is very important is to have a system whereby you can convert whatever you are getting from the Murli into your practice rather than randomly. I used to do randomly before because it's much easier. It's just, okay, fine, I like this point. Maybe I've not even written it down. I see that there is more I get when I actually make a little plan, and that plan can be in my head. I don't even have to, really do anything. If I do, that's good. But if I don't, so I think it's always good to kind of focus, and that helps us to achieve, So Baba says check and change and things like that. So I see, okay, yeah, I've done this. So next. Yeah. But I think it's
Shanti, brother, I just have.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one question. I've always wondered, like, I know that you must have a little structured approach also to understanding the Murlis so that you don't miss something very significant. So I ordered all the books of Avyakt Murli and I started reading from 1969, it's year-wise. But I'm always curious as to why is it that when we read the Murlis, it's not in sequence. Like I'm on my own, I'm underlining, I'm putting a star, and I see certain Murlis now have never come up for reading also, which I'm reading in the text. So is there an answer to this? I'm not sure. Om Shanti.
I don't catch the question clearly. The sequence where it was spoken is in the books, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So the books are
and all the Murlis are not, So if it starts in 1969, the very first Murli, Avyakt Murli, after Baba transited, if you start from there, and then if you go in a flow, there's a very different context I'm getting when I'm reading it that way. Okay. It's my own personal journey because I read it, I underline it, and I'm just understanding it in a different context. But when we read the Murlis, it's not in the natural flow of the timing of the years. It is different. And also I'm beginning to wonder whether we actually read all the Murlis or have we picked up some of the more important ones and we repeat those more often, like Holi and, the birth of the new year and all those kind of.
So I don't have an answer to that question, but maybe Amiji can tell us how they actually, these Murlis that you are revising, how is it organized?
Actually, it's like it's been from those we are team members. We have this Murlis for every month. So according, they only suggest, like Prafulba is who is take care about all these things. So they frame it everything according they want it. So as the month, whichever Murlis as per them, which is Avyakt for them and need to be read it out. So they frame these things, and that is the reason we read the Murli accordingly.
So maybe topic wise rather than chronological.
Yes. So they pick up the Avyakt Murlis from that month, and they put it and they form a table about it, which Murli is to be going to be done in that way. So nothing more of it that.
Yeah. So thanks. So what happens is there are several ways. One is which I have noticed is that what is happening during that time. If it is holy time, you will hear about Holi. If it is Navratri, if it is Diwali, you will hear according to that. So that's one way. Another way is maybe topic. Another way is maybe what was going on. But if you go by the past and the date, then what happens is we don't know really what was going on in details. So Baba used to speak on the basis of what Baba taught. And Baba says that depending on who is in front, Baba's Murli will be according to that. So, but at the end of the day, what is important for us is, as we said, what is in the present moment. If I have this Murli or if I have that Murli, how am I using it?
Yes, it is like year-wise we go through the Murli. So accordingly that we pick up those Murlis, which is to be relevant to read out, so that it's become more and more practice. Even we are doing Holi every month, but that means how you perceive the way of Holi. So that is the main thing about it. So whenever we read the Murlis, every time you will see something new in that. Then how you implement those Murlis in your life, that is more important, I think so.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, you have a choice as well. You want to read from the books and it feels good. I used to read from the books as well. Just that was my different practice. And then, listening to the daily Murli, and then sometimes in groups. Okay, so we'll pause here. Is it okay? Yeah. Because I think we've actually crossed the time. So let's have 2 minutes of silence.
Sure.
So, Shanti, and have a wonderful weekend, and see you next time.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Arif. It was very interactive session. Thank you so much for that. Thank you all of
Brother,
you.
say our Baba, say our love to Baba and heartfelt love. I'm so happy you are in Madhuban. I'm feeling the vibrations and send my special love and yad pyar to Baba, please, brother, in Pandavan Bhavan.
Sure. We'll do that. Yeah. Thank you. Wonderful.